My CAD series. So in this playlist, I'm going over how to make a few of the toys that I put on my 3D print shop on your own. So if you're into 3D modeling or you want to get better at your CAD skills, these videos are perfect for you. So I'm going to be going over how to make this TicTacToe toy today, and you can check out my other videos and try to make some other toys if you would like. And this should be on my 3D print shop by the next day. So without any further ado, let's get started with the tutorial. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make the base. So I'm going to make a sketch on the top plane, and the base seems to be a very basic looking square. Make this 90. Okay, cool. So then I'm going to extrude this just a tad bit downwards. Other way, and I want it to be maybe 1 milliliter down. Okay. Next, there's a little bit of a sketch on there, and the box is a little bit wider. So in order to do that, we actually have to make a plane that is offset off of this new surface. And I want it to be roughly 3 milliliters offset. Okay. Now let's make a sketch on this plane. I want it to be a center point rectangle. This is pretty good, and then I want it to be definitely not 10. Probably 100. Okay, and I want both sides to be equal to each other, and I don't know, center should be coincident. The current center. Okay. That looks good. So next I'm going to create a loft from this surface. It's going to be quite hard to do this without. There we go. And I'm going to create a loft. Okay. Like so. Okay. Now let's see what they have here. Okay, so now we just extrude that surface downwards a little bit, but other than that, it looks good. Okay, so for our base, think around 10 milliliters. Looks good. Okay, so now that we have the base here done, I'm going to hide this part as I make the, actually I might want to make the cylinders on the base first. So the base itself is going to have a 3x3 group of circles on it. So I'm going to create a linear pattern, 3 that way, 3 that way, going like so. I definitely want them each to be a lot more apart. 30, and for some reason maybe I have to put -30. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna tap yes to that, and then I want to extrude each of these. Okay, so we definitely want them to be taller than that, probably 40. That looks pretty good. Okay, cool. So now all that's left is to make the individual pieces. So I'm just going to make one of each X and O, and then we're going to be able to, in the assembly, duplicate and stack them as needed. So I'm now going to hide this part and make a sketch. So the first thing I'm making here is the X looking thing. It kind of looks like a flower a little bit. I think I like the kind of abused these a little bit before, but I like the splines a lot. I don't know if it's a good fit for this project though. Yeah, I don't think a spline is the way to go, just purely based on I definitely need to do an arc of some sorts. I'm thinking I like the conic idea. So we have essentially like that, and then we have that like so. Okay. And I am aware of Onshape's symmetry feature. That was not the right. That was not the right spot. I needed to be like here. Okay. All right. So next, that looks pretty good. I like how that turned out. So I'm just gonna extrude it. I definitely am gonna need it to be a lot smaller than 25 though. Just for reference, I need it to be not 210. Thicker than 10, so probably 15 looks about right. And I'm gonna do new. Okay, next I need to create a sketch essentially. So I need to create a plane offset from this. Create an offset plane. Make it higher. Okay. Now let's create a sketch on the new plane we just made. Okay, so now we need to make a little circle that's going to be our hole. And I want this hole to be coincident with this bottom line. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Let me see if I can drag. I should be able to make the circle larger and drag it down a little bit. Like so, that looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to extrude this sketch, except let me see if it lets me remove. Except it would go that way. Okay, cool. That works as expected. Okay, so now we have a hole in our little X. So what's left is to make our O. There's so many different planes that I want to get out of the way. Okay. So next we need to make our O. So let's make a sketch here on front. My fault for misclicking there. Okay, so this one should look somewhat like this. We're gonna have a portion that's a straight line, and then we're gonna have a line going down the middle here, and then I'm gonna have an arc. kind of like so. This looks pretty good for the shape of the cone. The only problem I have with it right now, though, is that I want to make sure that the size of this is okay. So this looks a little too tall. And we need the arc to be more curvy. That looks pretty good, I would say. But now I feel like this line needs to be larger. Like so. Okay, so now we're just gonna do a simple revolve this face, and we're gonna do it around this. Cool, so we made our new piece, so now I'm just gonna create another sketch, do it on here. It's pretty good. Remove. And that looks good. So next, all that's left is to visualize this in the assembly. So I'm gonna insert the part studio. I ended up making the X. This is way too big. Where is part 3? Okay. So let me visualize how part 3. Okay, so part 3 does actually fit on as expected. So let's me go ahead and change part X. So now I have added all the parts and I have arranged them to look like a game of tic-tac-toe. So it looks like the project is done. I also fooled around with the color of the pieces. I made them all beige so they could have that wooden feel. So as a perfectionist, this is a little bit off. Before I continue presenting this, okay, cool. So yeah, I created this little setup, and you can just do this by copy and pasting the pieces and dragging them around. So that kind of concludes it for this tic-tac-toe game. I hope that you all enjoyed this tutorial and that you can come back, check some new ones out. I'm definitely going to be posting more. So thank you for watching and sticking all the way through to the end. And I'll see you guys next time.